Greetings from LA, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, if you don't mind, I would very much like to continue on with our journeys, our discussions, our discoveries, and our explorations with respect to the recent releases made by the Criterion Collection during this year of 2023. And specifically, I'd like to focus on a set or a film which is contained within a set that has a number of films. That set is given by the Criterion Collection collectively Spy number 1197. And it is this set, a Blu-ray set, multi-disc Blu-ray set, which is referred to as Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. And today I'd like to focus on one film included in the 6 films that are part of this set. And this is a film which is described as being from the year 1980. It stars Jackie Chan, and it indeed also is directed by Jackie Chan. And this is known, well, the title of this work is, and please pardon me for my very poor pronunciation, I hope you can forgive me, but it is Sidai Hyotma, or as it's known in English, The Young Master. This is the work which is described as being from the year 1980, and it stars Jackie Chan, and it also is directed by Jackie Chan, and among others in its really great lineup of stars and performers of Yuen Biao and Shiken and Wai Pak and Hwang In-shik and others. And this is the work which is referred to in English as The Young Master from 1980. This is such another extraordinarily entertaining work in the canon, in the body of work of Jackie Chan. We have also a film that is in the context of Golden Harvest, Raymond Chow, and the professional relationship between Jackie Chan and Golden Harvest around this time, which recalls our past discussions, in particular in the context of Lo Wai and Fearless Hyena and Fearless Hyena 2. And we have a film that is also directed by Jackie Chan, and much like another film that we saw in the past, or part of the set, which was also directed by Jackie Chan. We have a number of very different elements combined together. Some parts humor and comedy, some parts action adventure, and other parts martial arts extravaganza. And this has very healthy doses, very healthy helpings of each, combined in a very thrilling and engaging and funny and very circuitous and quite soap opera dynamic, twists and turns galore, and also including one of the great cinematic on-screen martial arts fights in the Jackie Chan filmography, in the Jackie Chan canon. This is one of the great films in his body of work, The Young Master. And if we were to try to focus on the story or plot structure of this, we have a school that is already engaged in the art of the lion dance and the festival and a type of competition that goes awry or doesn't go according to plan. It results in, after a very thrilling opening sequence involving this incredibly high-skilled dance work at the festival. We understand there is already some intrigue afoot in terms of a fellow at the school who is seemingly betraying this particular school, and only Jackie Chan's character knows this, or there's a type of secret afoot, and that one of the other members of the Brotherhood is going to go perhaps defect to a rival faction, or rival school, or rival gang, as it were. Much to the chagrin of Jackie Chan and Master and school and company. And so therein lies already this idea of rival factions, rival groups, rival gangs, and showcasing too differences in a type of philosophy of kung fu or martial arts that provides the basis for a number of wonderful set pieces early on, but also throw into the mix some further levels of intrigue, sort of betrayal upon betrayal upon betrayal, and therein brings in the one of the great characters, one of the great villains in Jackie Chan work. This is portrayed by one of the supreme martial artists, Huang Yingxik, and the idea of Jackie Chan's character needing to essentially go on a quest to sort of save his fellow a member of a former member of his school, fellow brother, as it were, and Jackie Chan needed to go on a quest to try to save him and to find out what's going on with the rival school, and this brings in also some very intense fight sequences that involve a breakout, imprisonment, escape, and dastardly villains. If you thought the villains that you met early on in the film have a type of nasty edge to them, wait till you get a load of the final villain of the piece, the big ultimate villain, as it were. And this sets the stage for a glorious and no holds barred showdown that is epic. That's so long, that's so epic, that is just rugged and going all over the place, and twists upon twists galore. But it also, I think, sets the stage very cleanly and very precisely to the martial arts prowess that is on display here. And I want to say here that we have seen a lot of great martial arts sequences throughout the works of Jackie Chan, in particular the films that are embodied in the Criterion set. And we've spoken a little bit about those over the course of these discussions. And we've seen, too, how Jackie Chan is able to incorporate a number of, say, aspects of broad physical comedy, humor that could be, say, to be akin to silent film comedy, aspects of using the art or using props, aspects too that are maybe reflective of picking opera and style and acrobatics. And so there's also the aspect of art and theater, as well as the reliance on the authentic martial arts philosophy. And so we see a lot of those examples throughout his body of work. And I would dare say that the young master has perhaps one of the most celebrated such sequences involving Jackie Chan, and it is one of the most famous sequences in this type of martial arts cinema. One of my favorite sequences in all of Jackie Chan's films that I've seen, and the way it feels like a street brawl, and it feels too like there's elements of art and theatricality involved in picking opera and acrobatics, that's for sure. But there's also a lot of, you feel the bruises, you feel the hits when the bodies hit the ground. You feel the sense of changing, adapting style or strategy, the use of one foot over the other, or the way that say focusing in on certain parts of the body over others, and the way that the fight is broken down into, say, rounds like a boxing match. And so there's a sense of a real almost a directness, a toughness, for lack of a better phrase, that is ever present throughout this film, and in particular in some of the most celebrated fight sequences in all of Jackie Chan's canon, and for good reason. These are really intense and really entertaining indeed, and that's due to the great prowess of the performers that are involved, in particular Huang Yingxik and Jackie Chan. So this includes one of my favorite sequences in all of Jackie Chan's films, and it makes for a very compelling, very entertaining work indeed. And it is I think if we were to think about this set, taking a step back, the emergence of a superstar, you can definitely see how this film is a key stepping stone in that way, and not just in the behind the scenes, say. Machiavellian or production history details involving his previous associations with Lo Wai and now working under the auspices of Golden Harvest and also directing the film, but also the way in which Jackie Chan's action is now being presented on screen in this way. There are some moments too where he is able to showcase a sense of humor and disguise, and also a sense of creativity that's very fun and warm and enchanting and very, very clever. I mean, we've seen a number of these clever moments of use of props and environment and setting to great effect in previous films, and this film, The Young Master, is no exception to that. This is a wonderful work, and there are also some moments that are very funny and very clever, involving, like, say, a mistaken identity and a sort of a bandit on the run and a mistaken identity subplot line involving father and son and some interesting hijinks involving a fight that leads to very messy, muddy mess and shower stalls that also introduces sort of madcap hijinks humor aspect of it. And there's a way that the Jackie Chan personality shines forth in a very warm and friendly way. That's also you can see the way that Jackie Chan is really putting his body on the line. Everyone in particular, but especially Jackie Chan, he's putting his body on the line for his art, for his audience, and for the sake of entertaining his audience. There's a moment where you just see him standing, and he's just so into the fight that he's just like hitting himself and just showing how much energy he has by just jumping up and hitting the ground just through his own force and volition. So it's that type of raw, rugged energy that is just a ball of fiery cinematic flame that is contained within this wonderfully entertaining epic work, which is the film The Young Master. The Criterion Collection has released this film, The Young Master, as part of this multi-disc Blu-ray set at collectively SPY number 1197, and this set, once again, is Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. This is a multi-disc set, specifically 4 Blu-ray discs. The film, The Young Master, appears on Blu-ray disc number 3. And as far as that third Blu-ray disc is concerned, that is the only feature film contained on that disc. And so I have it already in the player right here, Blu-ray 3, The Young Master. And we have the movie, chapters, commentary, supplements, and setup. A word about setup. In terms of the audio options made available, we have the original monaural Cantonese soundtrack, 5.1 surround Cantonese soundtrack, English dubbed 5.1 surround soundtrack, and then also the commentary track. A word too about the masters. That is part of the staple booklet here on page 28 thereof, and I quote, "Digital restorations of Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Spiritual Kung Fu, The Fearless Hyena 2, The Young Master, and My Lucky Stars were created from 35mm original camera negatives, with Half a Loaf of Kung Fu mastered in high definition and the other 5 features mastered in 2K resolution. Scanning for all the films was performed on an Aeroscan film scanner. The original monaural theatrical mixes and original English dubbed tracks, when available, were provided by collectors dedicated to the proper preservation of Hong Kong cinema, while the 5.1 and 2.0 Cantonese tracks were made from optical soundtracks," etc. So there is also, I think, the commentary track too, as well as some of the supplements, which provide some information about the different versions that have been made available throughout the years. So what we have in terms of this release, the Young Master release, described as being 105 minutes for purposes of this Criterion release. I should point out that, like with the other discussions that we've had so far on the Jackie Chan films, it's going to be a case where this is not going to be considered, I think, to be maybe the be-all, end-all, everything absolutely collected in one set, one-stop shop set for purposes of Jackie Chan film collecting. So people might feel like there have been previous releases prior to the Criterion release that are very satisfactory and that are very that have a number of the features already and that showcase the film quite strongly. And if you feel that way, that's, I think, a very valid and legitimate and reasonable approach, and in fact, to have in a critique of the Criterion Collection set to have, and I respect that very much. But if you are, I would say, as I mentioned before, if you are looking for the Jackie Chan films, you just never got around to getting some of them yet, or if you're new to the world of Jackie Chan and looking for a place to start, if you're looking for, say, quote unquote, the early part of his career, while this set doesn't, I think, have all of the key films, say, in the early part of Jackie Chan's career per se, it does have a lot of the great ones and a lot of the quote unquote early quote unquote important ones, end quote. And so one of the films that is definitely falling within that category or categorizations, one film is undoubtedly The Young Master. And if you don't have the film The Young Master, I think this is a great place to go. It has a number of supplements that I think, while they haven't, they're not necessarily things that we haven't seen before. They are still places that can provide a lot of great substance and jumping off points for further understanding of this work, The Young Master. So I think this is a very admirable and in certain respects, I think, a very good place to go in terms of trying to get a copy of The Young Master for your physical media collection. But if we were to just very quickly speak, I mentioned the supplements. I said most of the supplements are probably not going to be found elsewhere, but one of the things about this release that was new for me, I should say, is the commentary track that's made available for purposes of this release or in 2023, because I haven't heard this commentary track before. And it is by Frank Zheng once again. Frank Zheng performed the commentary track for the one of the earlier films in the set, which is The Fearless Hyena, also directed by Jackie Chan. And now Frank Zheng's commentary track is made available for the other film in the set directed by Jackie Chan, The Young Master. So it says, this commentary track, recorded in 2023, features Hong Kong cinema expert and producer Frank Zheng enter the clones of Bruce. To listen to the commentary while viewing the movie, press the audio key on your remote at any time. And so I would say that for my money, the commentary track by Frank Zheng here for The Young Master and also for The Fearless Hyena, those commentary tracks are worth the price of admission. They are incredible. To my mind, they are incredible. Frank Zheng's commentary track for The Fierce Hyena is outstanding, and here provides another, simply put, outstanding commentary track for The Young Master. I was so impressed with this. He mentions aspects of the lion dance art and the theatricality quality of the history of this, so establishing a sort of social cultural perspective on this, while also showcasing the details of how rigorous the physicality of the performances are, not just in the context of lion dance theater history, but also in the filming itself. And so there are some details that emerge about how the filming was very much, you see little jumps or little places where the performers under the costume needed to do a certain act or carry out a certain stunt in order to perform this part of the film, etc. So it was incredibly detailed in that way. And then also how this is very much important in the context of Jackie Chan's career. Again, Golden Harvest, Raymond Chow, Jackie Chan, 1980. What happened, given some context when we recall the stories of involving Fearless Hyena 2 and and Lo Wai, etc. And also Jackie Chan as a director. This is again so important because, as Jackie Chan has mentioned in another of the supplements, this is the second film that he has directed. The first being The Fearless Hyena, and we see the cinematic style of approach to action, how information is gathered and transmitted, how it is captured by the camera. There are uh, ways that the camera has these incredible, sharp, fast flash zooms on the one hand, but then it also has a certain stationary positioning in order to capture a lot of the greatness of the action overall. And there's a lot of storytelling within the action set pieces. I mean, there are a lot of incremental components, one can say. So it has its own story within the martial arts fighting itself. And so I think what's so great about, in particular, films that are in the hands of Jackie Chan as a director, you really get a sense of the building of a story within the fight. And I think that comes into, that's one of the great examples of that is the climactic fight scene in terms of the performances by Jackie Chan on the one hand and Huang Yinshik on the other as Master Kim. And so there's a story within that. And I think the storytelling style and the levels of it and the details, I think, and the contributions and how long it took. One of the interesting things about Frank Zheng and his commentary track, he remarks too about how you just notice how sometimes some shots are bright sunshine and then it cuts to a shot where it's cloudy, and sometimes he sees how some of the performers are outside in these open expanses, and then all of a sudden maybe they're a little bit more tanned because they've been outside in the sun doing these performances for many production days and hours on end. And so it's Frank Jen just makes a note of these great details, which just shows how much he admires the film. He loves these films as much as he is an expert in all the details and the nitty gritty, and that also includes language components too. You know, one of the things is I'm not at all I'm not at all fluent. I don't understand the language. And so my ear is not at all trained to try to capture some of the nuances of how language is used. But here, Frank Jen provides a lot of that context, a lot of the body, almost lowbrow humor. There's some double entendre, some kind of potty humor as well that is very, I think, part of the context. And it also shows the kind of wide range of Jackie Chan's entertainment scope. And the cleverness too. I mean, it's not. There's a way in which these types of jokes are delivered, and they're done in a very, I think, tasteful and a very clever way. And I wouldn't have understood that had it not been for the guidance of Frank Jen's commentary track. So, uh, all in all, this is another top-notch, top-tier commentary track. To join the ranks of the Criterion Collection release pantheon. This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It makes me wish that all the films in the set had its own Frank Chen commentary track. That would have been wonderful. But the fact that we have this and we have the other commentary track that he performed for the Fearless Hyena, it's you. I can't recommend it enough. I cannot recommend it enough. This is a great one. So please check out the commentary track with Frank Jen that accompanies the film of The Young Master for this Criterion release. And then we go to the supplements. And as you can see, there are a number of supplements here. The first one is Jackie Chan, and this 2004 interview features actor-director Jackie Chan remembering the young master. This is approximately 7 minutes, and this is taken from another release. And we hear Jackie Chan talking about, he acknowledges that this film, The Young Master, was his second film as a director, and how he approached the style and the fighting in terms of trying to, you get a sense that he is searching for a way of organically integrating the action pieces, the choreography into the type of cinematic grammar that he's using in terms, not just in terms of separate parts that you put together, like part, but rather something that is integrated in a whole. And as I say, I keep going back to this, but it's so famous. The fight sequence between Jackie Chan and Huang Yinshik, I think, is a great example of this integrated wholeness approach that I think he's explaining here with such great gusto. And so Jackie Chan as an artist, you really get a sense of Jackie Chan as a Renaissance artist in many ways. So I mean, because we're reminded that he's a performer behind the camera, in front of the camera, and also in terms of pop music, etc. So that's Jackie Chan, 7 minutes interview. Then we have another wonderful archival interview. It says, in this archival interview, actor Hwang In-shik discusses his background and his role as Master Kim in The Young Master. This is approximately 28 minutes. So Hwang In-shik is one of the most famous figures in, say, martial arts cinema. And this is remarked upon here in this great long interview. It's approximately 28 minutes. Not only is that remarked upon, but also his own philosophy, his own martial arts background, both back then and now at the time of this interview. And we see him in the context of a sifu or master, and also a little bit of background into the various forms and schools and philosophies of martial arts that he has trained in and studied, and also his connections with cinema and Hong Kong cinema, and two figures that are very, very legendary in that discussion. One figure being Bruce Lee, and the other figure being Jackie Chan. And this is also remarked upon, I should say, in the Frank Cheng commentary track. But this is incredibly insightful, and to hear Huang Yishik, or Master Huang, as is referred to here, speak about this in this humble and very direct way, speaking to you about some of the production details and the stories behind the scenes in terms of shooting some of the sequences for The Young Master. Brilliant, epic, and so it has this wholesome feeling, down-to-earth feeling. It's lovely to listen to. Huang Yishik, and so famous in the context of Hong Kong cinema and martial arts cinema. So this is so key. It's wonderful to have this. It's archival interview. It's great to have this carried over and included here. So please check this out if you can. Approximately 28 minutes. Then we have what's known as deleted scene comparisons, And this says, this program compares scenes that were cut from The Young Master with their corresponding sequences as they appear in the final edit of the film. And this is approximately 3 minutes. So this does suggest the slight differences in terms of deleted scenes and also scene extensions, and it's showing indication of what was deleted versus what is finally included. So this is again totaling 3 minutes overall. And then we have what's known as the Cannes promo reel, Cannes referring to the Cannes Film Festival, and this says, this silent promotional reel for The Young Master was made by its releasing studio Golden Harvest for the 1980 Cannes Film Festival. And this is silent, so there's no accompanying soundtrack, so it's essentially, you have a little bit of text at the very start explaining what this work is, The Young Master, and then we have some examples of some of the footage from the film. Again, without, as far as I can tell from the release that I have here, without any accompanying sound, but that's okay. That's okay. This is one of the examples of promotional materials from 1980. This is approximately 14 minutes. And then we have what are known as NG shots, and NG is the letters N and the letters G, so NG. This silent reel presents footage from The Young Master that was considered unusable, NG, or no good for the final feature. By the way, NG is also can be used in the Japanese language. So if someone wants to say something like, "Oh, no good, let's start over, do over, or start over," you can sometimes say NG. NG, and that will be a way to communicate that idea even in Japanese. So NG, or no good. These are what they say here, which is blooper reel. It's essentially a blooper reel, and this is approximately 9 minutes, and it's also silent as it indicates, so there isn't any accompanying soundtrack as far as I could tell. Again, very fascinating stuff. This is this could be also said to be maybe a type of reminder of what we might be expecting to see in some other standout Jackie Chan films maybe later on beyond this set. Sometimes there's some very famous Jackie Chan films where the closing credits will involve actual blooper reels that are shown to see the actual stunts that are being performed and mistakes and everything, and laughing on set and that sort of thing. So that has that type of echo here as well. So the NG shots, it's a very good thing to have. Again, this is approximately 9 minutes. And then that's not all, because then we have deleted scenes. And another deleted scenes here. Featured here are English dubbed scenes not included in the final Hong Kong edit of The Young Master. And here we have more examples of the suggestions of maybe deletions or different versions. Deleted scenes here, again, for English dubbed, approximately 5 minutes. Not included in what is referred to as the Hong Kong edit. And then we have closing out the supplements trailer for The Young Master. So all in all, I think a very healthy set of supplements, borrowed or carried over from other releases. But we do have the great benefit of the Frank Chen commentary track to accompany this Criterion release of The Young Master. And then to close out, we have the booklet, which is part of this overall set. We'll have a separate video discussion talking about the packaging overall, the booklet overall, and the overall encompassing essay, which is called Bugs Bunny in the Shaolin Temple. But just for purposes of the discussion on the Young Master, I'd like to point your attention to pages 10 and 11 of the booklet, which are right here. We have some pictures on one side involving a very famous scene of the Young Master, and then on the other side we have the write-up of the film, including cast and credits information, and also some specifications on the film itself. So, but we'll return to a discussion of the booklet overall when we get to a later video discussing the set, Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. And included in the set, for purposes of today's discussion, has been The Young Master. Let me say in conclusion that I would say that if we're talking about the set, so far my favorite films in this set, and indeed taking a step back, among my favorite films in Jackie Chan's canon, The Young Master is in there, definitely. I think this is one of his best works, one of the best works in this set, but one of the best Jackie Chan films, period. And it has, as I mentioned, healthy doses of very different mixes of genre blends, action, humor, and also double cross and triple cross, and ways in which things build, and some interesting twists to, and also some ways that it's subversions, but also fresh takes on the genre, and so and incredibly, massively entertaining and epic fight sequences that I think top off this supremely entertaining work. One of my favorites, The Young Master. So, my dear friends, that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well. And please keep on watching a lot of great, great, great movies, including the films of Jackie Chan, including films in the Criterion Collection, and beyond. So until the next video, my dear, dear friends, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.